Hi everybody, it's Lee here, Crypto Mainly. Thanks ever so much for all your interactions throughout the week and for growing my channel. We're up to 107 subscribers in 11 days, which is really lovely. So thanks ever so much for that. I'm going to try and keep the videos a lot more on the shorter side because that seems to be the consensus of opinion. And it seems to be what you guys want. So let me see if I can just cut the video times down. And please, give me some comments, feedback. It's a new channel, and obviously I'll listen to you and progress things till we fine tune them so that everybody's happy, or as many people as we can be happy. We'll make happy. Okay, thanks ever so much. Looking to help you along the way and guide you through the cryptocurrency space. Give you free trade setups and things like that. Obviously, everything that you see is not financial advice. It's for entertainment purposes only. So let's jump right into the market. Today's video is going to be based on just around specifically Bitcoin. You look at the video yesterday. I've covered 10 altcoins in that video from the course of the week. So if you're interested in that, I'll put a link to the video from yesterday in the description below. So this is the Bitcoin chart we've been looking at for a while. I am actually waiting for the retest for this price action to actually come back up to this descending resistance line. I suspect you're at the 38.2 now, which is also the neckline of this W breakout here. So if I just draw that in for you, just so you can see what I'm talking about. That's the neckline. So a lot of people have been looking at this rising channel. I'll show you that on the other chart. So this rising channel has been subject of popular opinion on social media, and Twitter and things. So let's have a look. That's where sort of this triangular pattern comes from on this sheet. Sorry, on this chart, I should say, not this sheet. So just draw it in quickly, roughly for you. But that there is this big triangle here.
Bounce.
So as suspected, this is what I was was what I've been speaking about for over the course of this week. Now this area here is really one of interest at the moment. If you look at the channel here, this rising channel, this is actually what I think is happening now. So everybody was looking at the blue triangle, shall we say? In an actual fact, what we should be looking at now. Now we've got some more data. This actually appears on the face of things as being a breakout. But if I actually highlight the rising channel that I'm talking to you about now, you'll see and you'll notice, no doubt, you probably already have yourselves, but there is a rising channel actually forming now. And the latest peak here is actually a retest of the resistance of that rising channel, and not necessarily a breakout from this level here, from this 44.5 to 45,000 level here. Doesn't look very good, so let me just change that colour for you. Okay, so it looks a bit scribbly. Sorry about that, but the actual the neckline, this breakout that everyone's been looking for, we've come back down. We've retested it, which is something else which I've been talking about to watch out for. Again, this is going to lead the market into a full sense of security, in my opinion. And if I just show you these lines here, if I just bring them up a little bit, because I've put them in the background a little bit, but we've been talking about this for the entirety of the last week, and this is what I expect. Either something like that will happen, or we'll get something like that, which will happen. There you go. So, and based on what have I based that on? Well, the market makers, all of social media and things are all looking at this rising triangle, as I've said before previously. And actually, if you look at that descending resistance and the support line now, you've got like a smaller area where probably the price is going to, now that we've got the break, this point of breakout here, that triangle there. Let me see if I can make that clearer for you. So that area there now is going to be, I think, where the price finds support. Everybody thinks this is great and everything, it's going to be bouncing along there for a while. It will either lose support and fall straight through, or it may even come back up for a second test of that, just to fall the last of the ball. So anyone that's sitting on the sidelines just waiting for a confirmed, positive price action. Because if you look at the volume, this breakout here actually wasn't supported by volume. in the way that you'd expect to see normally. Let me see if I can show you that on a different chart. Yeah, so you see what normally when you get breakout conditions, you would get like huge. So at the bottom here, you've got a volume profile, and you can see even on like a downward direction, if you get a breakdown in price, you get these really high spikes in volume, and the same for if you're breaking out in an upward mode, the same again, you get these high spikes of volume. Haven't really had that yet, so this breakout, there are people still being cautious. This breakout wasn't volume supported, and so people are still perhaps seeing the rising channel. Perhaps but certainly there's caution in the market still, and rightly so. Probably driven by the open interest and the leverage ratio at the moment, both of which are at all-time highs or close to all-time highs. And the last time they were at those levels was at 65,000, and we all know what happened after that. So something to consider there. Okay, so those are my thoughts, guys. Just be a little bit careful. Let's just don't jump into things. Don't forget the cryptocurrency world trades 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So don't jump in too soon. Let's just see what happens. In this area. This area is going to be a situation that creates liquidity, and by that I mean the market will take people's stops out left and right, whether you're long or short. It will clear out all that over leveraged situation that we currently find ourselves in by moves like this, where it's falling people into a breakout and then it drops down. It may even come all the way back down to the 39,650 level here. If it does come all the way back down here, the shorts will be loading up, because the minute we get back below 40,000, I would say that people, there's going to be an accelerated amount of selling, pressure towards the downside. We may even see, something like this. And this is me speculating, but it is an educated opinion. I've been in the space a long time, but we may even see something like this where it comes down actually below, comes up for a retest, and then starts to roll over, just to get everybody, all the bears, all thinking, wow, it's broken down, it's come up, it's had a retest, really load up on all these short positions. So everybody's expecting this accelerated sort of dump down towards the 22 to 24,000 mark. And when all of the people like here, the bulls will be all loaded up long, only to be stopped out down at the bottom here. All the shorts will load up, and then once it gets to the level that the market's happy, the price will literally will take off into the summer, and it will take out all the stops for all the traders which are short. All the stops will be taken out in the other direction. So yeah, you get the idea, guys. And I am only speculating. There's not any technical analysis side of things that can support this. The only thing is that is my experience in the space and how long I've been in the industry. But let me just show you a couple of things which add to confluence and add to my suspicions. Clearly, this is my trading, my scribbly chart that I call it, because I'm trading on this every day. You can see the rising channel there. You can see this area here, which we've spoken about in great detail over the course of the week. If you want to look back through those videos, I will put a link to the video from yesterday for the 10 altcoins, because I think if you haven't seen the video, each video per day, which has been a 15-20 minute video, because you're not interested in that amount of time, you don't want to watch for that amount of time. The video that I did yesterday is less than 10 minutes long, and it's a summary and includes 10 altcoins that we covered in the week, and tells you where we are, where we got to, the profit that we've made so far, what the projections is on all those 10 altcoins. So if you've missed the content up until today, because I only started the channel on the 20th of March, so we've only been going for less than 2 weeks. Have a look at that summary video. There'll be a summary video which will sort of encapsulate the best of what we've spoken about in the week so far. This is the another chart that we were looking at in our trading group, actually. What we were looking at originally was this triangle. So if I just take that trend line out for a moment, because everybody, no one really was anticipating this rising channel when we were here, because you can see you've got clear signs that this is perhaps a bullish pennant or a bearish pennant in whichever direction. You can see from the fib measurements here on the side. So if we got a bullish breakout, the measure is at sort of 56 to 58. up to the golden pocket. Okay, let me just draw that for you because some of you won't know what I'm talking about, which I need to consider that. So this to be the golden pocket on. Oh, hello, that's not working. Yeah, so basically this is the retracement. So you've got the 61.8. Let's move that down a little bit. 61.8 to the 65. That's considered the golden pocket, as you'll know. I actually, with the golden pocket side of things, when it comes to Bitcoin specifically, I actually extend that up to the 0.7. So the 61.8 to the 0.7. That is my golden pocket there. And to the downside, interestingly, if you do a fib level, which I've done at the top there, so the zero line is here, and I've done a retracement down to the low here. So we've got 2 points that I'm starting. So I'm starting the fib measurement at the top here, and I'm then taking that down and drawing it down to this level here. Hence the reason you've got the zero line here on the fib up the top, and you've got the 1 at the bottom. So this is a retracement, and as you can see, the measured move of the back end of this triangle would actually have been, either in the golden pocket region, or on the downside would actually be the 1.272, which is another, another key fib level which gets hit on a regular basis, and that would have taken us down to around about the 23,000 mark, which is what we've been speaking about over the last couple of days. So, I mean, clearly at the moment, the argument and things are looking on the bullish side. Let me just recap refresh my memory. So we talked about the fact that when this rolls over, it will come back up, have a second attempt at this, and then possibly roll over deeper. The 61.8 here is 41,600. And the 0.786, so the 78.6 is 39,830. Just bear those numbers in mind. So let's talk about this in round numbers. Let's say 39,800 to 41,500. So 39,800 to 41,500. Just bear those numbers in mind for a second. If we look at this rising channel scenario, the point to watch, if you like, according to this sort of wick low here, if you like, and the 78.6 lines up. So the 78.6 lines up with the lows of the kind of the first sort of real bounce that we got on this big descending, apart from obviously this big wick here where we got a reaction to that sudden dump down. When we've got an organic sort of corrective which is continuing, this is really the first organic move that we had. So there's obviously a key support level here, which is 39,650, which is also the 78.6, if you see there, which is at 39,850. Interesting. That's interesting. That's in the realms of what we're talking about here. The next chart, this one which we've been talking about before, I just want to get rid of those little dots. I'll get rid of that golden pocket as well. So now we've got the extra data, we can see that in actual fact, the the rising channel now, it's if you join the wicks up, you can see perfectly that this is a significant resistance line, and this is changing into a rising wedge. Now, so what does that mean? Well, a rising wedge formation normally would break to the downside. It's got a 68% chance on a rising wedge like that, because you could actually look at this as a bearish sort of a bear flag, if you like. So what do I mean by that? Let me just quickly show you. So you've got the pole, and then obviously you've got this, the flag pattern here, which is going to be a little bit difficult to draw, but I'll just use a triangle to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So, and obviously you've got this is kind of the flag, if you like. So that would actually be a bearish type pattern, which you would expect continuation to the downside. There's actually a 68% chance on a bearish pattern like that, or a rising wedge, that it will break down to the downside. So if you were ignoring all the noise and just looking at this on the basis of this chart and forgetting the fact that people are talking about this breakout, in actual fact, this does look like it's a bearish pattern. Now, there are lots of other things. I look at lots of other things, and I'm talking about on-chain data, and there are a number of factors, in fact, mostly, there's more factors that point towards the fact that this is going to be a bullish continuation than it is going to be a bearish continuation. But it is only going to be short-lived, in my opinion. It's only going to last through the summer, and there will be a capitulation event back end of this year. And I'm going to do a mid and long-term analysis on Bitcoin in another video, because I don't want this to be too long. But look out for that, guys, in the future. It'll be in the next couple of days. So in summary, what are we looking at? What are we talking about? Well, we said about these numbers to remember. This area here, the 39,800 to the 41,500 level. We've shown how that's ties up with this chart. If we look at this chart now, I'm just going to I'm trying to keep this chart nice and clean and easy to read. So I'm just going to simply add on the VPVR, and it brings up another interesting point. In this instance, where if we're looking at the start of this impulse move, if you like, and now the correction, the VPVR is actually indicating that the price is going to come back down and retest somewhere around this region here. Let's have a look. So we're going to be, possibly, the VPVR is also suggesting that we're going to retest this area. What's the area that we're looking at? If we come down and just retest this descending, support line, and we come back down to the VPVR. If we come back down to the VPVR, currently that is at just under 42,000. But interestingly, if we did make it down to the bottom of this trend line, then we're looking at around the sort of 40,000 mark. Interestingly, again, same prices, 39,800 to 41,500 is the area that we're looking of interest. Same for this chart. And now looking at this nice clean chart, which is freshly drawn with a new perspective, the point of interest, the VPVR, it is also pointing in the same area. So just lastly, we're going to look at the CME chart. Now, this is something which, again, I find it technical analysis fascinating, which is probably why I talk about it so much and make my videos too long. But if we look at there's a gap. If we look at the gap here, and if I just chop this off for a moment so you can see. So I've just cut the price action off from the future there. Just to show you to compare to where we are now, really. If we watch what happens, the gap gets filled and there's an accelerated downward pressure as the gap gets filled. There is a little pause here, so we get to the bottom. So we get to the bottom of the gap. There is a little pause here whilst we get because obviously there's a lot of interest in this area once the gap is filled. So we did get a pause, but we then did get a continuation. So what you can do, in actual fact, I've already done it there. So what you can do, if we look at from the top, so the peak up here, so the peak of the wick down to where the actual gap was filled, you'll also see that if we then put that down as an AB equals CD move, then the candle bodies there at the bottom, somewhere in this region, but you get the idea. It's like an AB equals CD corrective move. Well, interestingly, if we move this across to where we are now, we measure from the top of the peak again down to where we are now. Okay, you'll notice that this arrow is the exact same size as the one here. Now, that's not coincidence, and that's not something to be ignored. This move here, the AB equals CD, so this first part of the move is where this purple arrow comes in. And if we pop it to the top there, look what happens. This is a fractal pattern again. We talked about in the previous video, going from from the low to the high. This is a 78.6 retracement. If we go from the low to the high, This is a 78.6 retracement. If we go from the low to the high, what's going to happen next? I think you can guess. If we move, so this arrow, actually, now we have filled the gap. We are getting a little bounce, but if we move this down, sorry, I didn't need to move that. If we move this down to the actual AB equals CD, interestingly, we are back in looking at the same zone as we've been talking about before, in this kind of vicinity at around about the 40,000 mark. And if we draw the fibs from the bottom to the top, just to see where that 78.6 retracement is, it's the same as the other charts, guys, but this is a CME chart. But we're looking at the same thing: 39,850 and 41,500. Now, some of you out there are going to say, well, you're looking at the same thing. It's just the same measurements that you're taking. This is the same Bitcoin chart, and you're doing the same thing. Well, yeah, that's true. But obviously, we've got different exchanges. We've got different CME. And this is talking about a gap closure. So the gap that we've got here, make that a bit of a different color for you. And then it is similar to this gap we've got, what we've just had here, which has just been filled by this first part of this corrective move. So I think we're going to see another retest of the top trend line and then roll over. But yeah, you get the idea, guys. So we've got a fractal pattern here. We've got a gap, then the breakdown. We've got a gap, and the breakdown. You've got 78.6 retracements all the way up. We've got confluence of different perspectives and different ways of looking at these things. They all add up to an indication that we're getting down there. So yeah, watch out for that, guys. If it does get down there, watch out. I mean, it's very difficult, because at what point don't you panic? But if it does get below here and start to bounce along and start to give everybody the indication it's coming down, do not be surprised to see the price go in the opposite direction very, very quickly once all the shorts have loaded up on their positions. But yeah, you get the idea, guys. Hope you enjoyed the content throughout the week. Look forward to this every day. Thank you very much for the opportunity that you're creating for me by liking and subscribing and sharing the video and watching. And your comments are greatly appreciated as well. At the moment now, we've got a relatively small channel. When there's hundreds of thousands of people in the channel, I may not be able to interact with everybody quite so well. And so I'm enjoying being able to interact with each and every comment that you make. So if you'd be kind enough to put your opinion down below, give me some advice, give me some tips, show me some direction, what you think should be best and best and worst for the future for the channel. And that's it, guys, for today. All the best. I hope you have a really lovely weekend, and I hope the sun's shining where you are. Always remember, guys, take profits and buy something real. Take care. All the best, and see you tomorrow.